Dames en heren, de sneltrein naar Amsterdam Centraal, Schiphol en Leiden-Lammerschans van 16:33 vertrekt vandaag van spoor 14C.
First cigarette in 8 hours. Then enjoy. After ass-whooping 27 hours of travel, we are finally in Jakarta. Since we arrived in our hotel past midnight, only this morning we can finally admire the skyline of this great city, which boasts up to 34 million people when including its suburbs. The weather today is scorching 34 degrees in the equatorial sun, and we got 2 hours to kill before we meet up with our guide Kenya, who will take us to Istiklal Mosque. Today is Sunday. Additionally, there is marathon in the city. Because of that, there is much less cars around than usual, which was a welcome sight to see. We are passing the Monos Monument and we are taking a smaller path around it through a park in its territory. The atmosphere is great, but it's hot. It's a big city. Refreshing. Finally, we are in the Istiklal Mosque. It is such a shame that you don't have enough time to film here, and the tour is rather short. The mosque is biggest in Southeast Asia, and the name Istiklal means independence in Arabic. This mosque commemorates independence from the Dutch colonial rule in 1945, and it was initiated by the first Indonesian president Sukarno. Another thing I have to mention is that Indonesia is an exemplary Muslim country, which has this religious harmony written in its constitution. You don't believe me? Well, this mosque is built just meters away from Jakarta Cathedral, which of course is a Roman Catholic cathedral. Even more, the Istiklal Mosque is built by a Christian architect, Friedrich Silaban. In this way, the far-seeing President Sukarno sublimely sent a message of harmony and tolerance, which is still practiced today. If you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, and your knees are visible, most likely you will need to wear these traditional clothes to cover your nakedness when you enter. It was also the first mosque that we ever visited. Another thing I absolutely love is the occasional breezes of wind inside the mosque help me to cool down. Unlike temples in other religions, since most Muslim countries are located in warm climate, they designed it for it too, with a lot of open windows or so-called jalis. The total time for this tour was about 30 to 40 minutes max, but it's a must-see, must-visit place in Jakarta. What a sight would it be to actually see people praying here in Eid and hear the imam singing azan and calling people to pray. After we were done with the mosque, our guide Kenya took us to an art gallery. I didn't film there, and the main reason why we went there was because the building was air-conditioned and we looked at some art while cooling down. Right next to the gallery is the small market street where the gates were built by the Dutch. It wasn't really a special place. I think most exciting thing I saw there was the electrician's nightmare of connected electricity cables. Besides that, there were a lot of stalls where you could buy the most random stuff, and additionally you could see the people just going about their daily lives. Next thing, guide Kenya finds a public transport In this case, it's a van. It costs just a tad more than a bus ticket, still under €1. The thing is, the locals use all forms of transportation here, starting by buses and trains and ordering a scooter or a car from the Grab or Gojek apps, which have taken over all the country. It's the most optimized way of transporting yourself around this huge city. Because of the heat, people are usually not walking distances longer than 5 minutes. We arrive in Batavia, in northwest Jakarta. This is a special place, as you can see from the old colonial buildings. Back in the days, it was surrounded by walls and mounted by troops to protect the Dutch interests there. It was a place where they ruled from. The main reason why we are here is the Museum of Traditional Puppet Show known as Wayang Kulit. This grandmaster inherited a huge amount of puppets from his family, while himself he has created a myriad of puppets, and he is passing down this unique knowledge to his son as well. In short, this tradition stretches back hundreds if not thousands of years. Back in the day, Wayang Kulit was used to tell tribespeople history, stories, education, and of course to spread religion. Since people didn't know how to read or write back in the day, it was a very efficient way of getting the message across the minds of the peoples. Some of these shows, even nowadays, could take up to 9 hours. We spent about 30 minutes here and heard all the interesting facts and history of this craft. Since I'm very interested in culture and history, it was a truly awesome experience being here. You won't notice it in the video, but many hours have passed since we met Kenya. It was time for lunch. She asked me whether we want to see Chinatown, to which I replied no. In my opinion, they look more or less the same in every country. Instead, I asked if she can take us to a place where all these hard-working street vendors live. So yes, basically slums. Since it wasn't too far, she did take us there. We bought some candies to hand out to kids that we would encounter on the way. I didn't film that part, naturally. From what I could find on internet, about 40% people here live in these conditions. We passed by some houses where up to 10 people were cramped up in inadequate conditions. Not that I want to teach anything to tourists going to Indonesia, but you have to understand the daily struggles of people living here. Price negotiating here is sort of stupid, especially when you are purchasing something that costs 2 or 3 euros and you're negotiating for a 50-cent discount. Don't do that. It's a different case when you're shopping for more expensive stuff. Since 99% of the population are Muslim, be assured that most of them don't drink alcohol, let alone using drugs. The money always ends up for the benefit of the family. Finally, we are back in hotel, and past me you see darkness outside, but don't be misguided, it's only 8 p.m. in the evening. The sun is setting already at 6 p.m. So it's basically happening throughout all the year, because Indonesia is located only about 600 kilometers from the equatorial line, which actually makes the days quite short throughout all the year. That is also one of the reasons why we didn't so to say, see 100 objects, which would be our classical adventure. We are going to the night food market, which is luckily not far from our hotel, and we're gonna just enjoy the night life here in Jakarta. We already actually passed it with the taxi when we came back to the hotel. It's already alive at 8 p.m. and normally, from what our guide told us, it lasts till 2 a.m. Let me finish my drink and off we go. We have like this small arrangement of things over here. So this is udon, or basically shrimp. This is redang, which is beef solely cooked in coconut juice. And this is fish, which is served together with rice. You do see that we don't have any utensils. So the right thing over here is that you just take something with your hand. I'm assuming. And you just eat it. As you can see, we ate up all the fruits basically, besides one shrimp over there. You get fingers like this. But one of the best things is, over here in Jakarta at least, you can smoke a cigarette by the table where you eat. And I'm in an ashtray there, and I'm about to light up a cigarette, which is really, I wouldn't say actually a great thing, but just like a weird thing. I think the Western world used to do that as well, ages ago. But here, people still don't give a fuck. If you're pregnant, no problem. If there's children in here, no problem. Just smoke it up. And that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go, man. Senor. Bravo, bravo. We just had like this beautiful concert by the local road steward. It was absolutely fantastic. And guess what we found? We found some bintang. We're gonna have a couple of these today, I hope. Well, so 2 beers later, we came to like this place that serves beef on a stick, or what they call satay, was it? Satay?
Some mystery sticks.
Some mystery sticks. We are very welcome to try it. So let's go for it. And to be honest, like already in the first place, I was so stuffed from the food that they served us. It's just literally impossible to get more food down. But let's try these. Well, this is the glorious meat. Let me try it. Wow, a very distinguished taste. A little bit sour and very beefy, if you know what I mean. Tastes kind of like a shashlik that we would make at home as well. A little bit more chewier though. Also a little bit spicy. It has to be a little bit spicy because of course we're in the Southeast Asia. This small beautiful arrangement of cooked beef, right? It costs like 30,000 rupees, which comes to about perhaps a little bit under 3 euros, so maybe like 2 euros 20, which is not a bad price. So let's keep eating away. Sabine's gonna experiment a little bit and try the local potato or something like a salad.
I think it's a potato.
And what do you find of the taste?
Good.
Yeah?
Bit of different taste in our potatoes, but it's tasty.
Spicy as well?
Yeah, exactly. The sauce is spicy, but middle of the potato, it's deleting the spices. You should also try.
So guys, it's gonna be literally my last meal today because the limit has been reached, and this is very spicy. I've been assured by my Indonesian friends over here. So just gonna better first smoke a cigarette because I don't think I can recover after this. So let's see what happens afterwards. Well, boys and girls, we did make some new friends. I have to say, 3 beers down, and not only that, I have to say these are the most kindest and friendliest people on all the planet here in Jakarta, which comes like in kind of, you know, in unexpected way. So God bless these new friends I made over here, and let's get some sleep before we get on the train to Yogyakarta tomorrow. Well, we are going to Yogyakarta to see the mighty Borobudur and Prambanan over there. It's going to be a very long 7.5 ride with the train. So let's see if we can survive it.
Thank you.
After a very long ride, we are finally in Yogyakarta. We have to do a small trek to our hotel to check in and check our surroundings. I think today is not going to be the busiest day for us because at 4 o'clock we're going to get picked up to go to the temple of Borobudur and other activities. So this evening will be quite limited, but let's make the best out of it. So we have been led here by Google Maps on our way to hotel to this what appears maybe like a market, and we are blocked by this gate here that's closed. So let's pray that it only looks closed. Very luckily you could open them and pass. So we have just arrived in our hotel room over here. It was a very hot walk, of course, you know, coming here, but I'm just actually happy about this room because in the train we start just like reading randomly reviews about hotels that we booked, and well, how to say that, we found out that a lot of people left bad reviews, so we were a little bit scared on the way here, but it's actually not that bad. I mean, we paid for this place 400,000 rupiah, which is I think a little bit above 20 euros. So it just has your like perfect bed, not perfect, it just has your bed, a small bathroom with a shower, which is also really a plus because when we booked this place it said that you have a shared shower, which is okay, but yeah, it's actually not that bad and much better than we expected. And we are heading down to Marlioboro Street, or Jalan Marlioboro, where the big action is happening in the city apparently. Once in a lifetime experience. I mean, where else are we gonna experience this? Being brought to Marlioboro Street on a motor carriage. No rice, no rice. I don't even know what it is, but I mean, it looks tasty. Look at it. Sweet, spicy, meaty. I think there's like even a little bit of egg over here. What it appears to be is like fried macaroni. I think they just like put a lot of spices on it, so it's kind of like macaroni, but then again very crunchy. $15,000. Okay. Let's go. One portion, spicy, pedas manis. fast doesn't regret it tomorrow morning. Makasih. Alright, let's try. Let me tell you, it doesn't taste the sausage like in Europe, but it's not worse, it's just like different. I like spiciness, I love it. Soon I think soon my head is gonna start sweating like super hardcore. Like literally, I have no idea what I'm about to eat, but it's called wedang ronde. So it costs like 10,000 rupiah, which is not a lot to try for this amount of money. It seems some kind of like soup kind of thing. Okay, makasih. So I don't think there's like anywhere to sit down. They just like stay over here.
Now first inspection.
Yes, let's try.
Hot.
So a little bit sweet. Actually tastes kind of like black tea. And ginger. So like ginger gives like a lot of this spiciness. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it though. It will be kind of like shame to come here and try all the easy things. You have to kind of explore the food over here. So just for the record, that probably wasn't amongst the things that I liked the most on this market. Even though it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was looking to fill my stomach with. And for the reference, like 10,000 rupiah, I think is just above €1. So it's a win-win. Like people actually eating like this fruit that looks like lime, but inside it looks kind of more like tangerine thing, and I actually can smell the citrus, so very curious how it tastes like. It tastes a little bit weaker than orange, kind of like orange juice, but not really that sour kick of orange, kind of like very sweet orange, so not bad. And it really does get like the taste from the previous food outside my mouth, which is a good thing. Refreshing. I don't even know what that is, but bakpia apparently is like kind of a thing everybody eats over here. It feels like we are going on a speed run of trying things, but I mean everybody was kind of going for this, so I'm very curious how they taste like. So it feels like it's kind of like a coconut flour kind of a thing, because it's rather dry. Not really like a cookie, a little bit chewy, kind of dry thing. So I guess it's really not my favorite as well.
Yeah, when you will be hungry tomorrow morning, maybe perfect about coffee.
Oh yeah, because I think we'll just take the rest in a backpack, and because tomorrow we will have to go hours without eating. So maybe if there's water or something you can kind of drink on it,
it will go very good down.
Exactly. And it costs like 1,000 a piece. So again, like we got like 6 pieces, so it's less than €1 for all of that. Just only an image. It's the only thing that we can do with food today, because it is already almost 10 o'clock and we had to wait half hour if we wanted to have that food. So no more food today, back to the hotel. kind of impressive to see the mountain, not the mountain, it was kind of impressive to see the temple coming out from the clouds, the darkness and the mist with your own eyes. And of course the capabilities of GoPro has never been very known for the power of the zoom. So we stayed here for about 40 minutes to come here, and I think further we are actually going to the temple with our guide. And well, if you're ready to sacrifice a little bit of money, you can come make like these very nice pictures over here. Of course you have to pay a small commission for the people that have set it up, but we're not going to do that because life is not an Instagram picture. And back down we go.
10 giga and I paid 16.
16 for 10. Yeah. So I still.
So we are at the
Kitty Kato, who makes a coffee.
So this little animal here is very famous for dropping some poop, which people like to make coffees from, and which is apparently renowned as one of the best and most expensive and tasty coffees in the world. There he is, a little cutie. I do feel a little pity for him. Yeah, Indonesia is really not known for having the best empathy and taking care of the animals, so it's a little sad to see. He's being, yes I think so, but he's probably just being like fed all day and then he poops, eats and poops, eats and poops. But nevertheless, since we are here, it would be a shame not to try it. Yeah, generally it was just like a small stop on the temple of Borobudur. Just a very random place. I think if you're passing by, you have absolutely no idea about what's happening here. Still a little bit sad and painful to watch at this. But from what also our guide told us already in the day of Jakarta, is that people here, the struggle is so big, so they don't think about past or the future, but they are mostly thinking about, you know, how to survive the day. So I think that's why also the animal welfare is probably not the biggest thing on their agenda. So even before the tour has started, I imagine this is how the food comes out, and they refine it until the moment when it's ready to be roasted. So we just opened like a package of something and they become immediately aroused and start smelling. Even this little cutie is starting to look this way. What a beautiful little thing. I think it's the first exotic animal that we see here. Very beautiful.
Directly you can eat the bean like a peanut. Do you want to try?
Yes, of course.
And usually we eat with the coconut sugar.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, to make it a little bit more sweet.
Yeah. Maybe first. Yes. For you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Together we
Makasih.
can do so.
Wow. It's really special taste, isn't it? That's very interesting. in Indonesia, when you drink this coffee, you don't put sugar in it, but they have like this coconut sugar. And basically, if you would like have a sweeter coffee, you just take one piece, put it in your mouth, and you drink coffee on it. It does taste really, really special. So far on the trip, seeing the Borobudur temple up close was the most culturally shocking and mind-blowing experience. I mean, I've seen photos of it and read about it since I was a 7-year-old kid with an encyclopedia in my hands. This is the first and the biggest Buddhist temple in Indonesia. It was constructed in 9th century and it managed to survive till 14th century. In 14th century, Buddhism started to decline in Indonesia and it was rapidly replaced by Islam. It resulted in eventual abandonment of this place up until 19th century to be discovered by a British ruler in Java. Natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions and earthquakes along with looting further contributed to its deterioration. The temple is designed in the form of a massive stupa, consisting of 9 stacked platforms, 6 square and 3 circular topped by a central dome. This layout symbolizes the Buddhist cosmology, with the journey from the base to the summit representing the path from the earthly realm to nirvana. The base features intricate reliefs depicting earthly desires and human behaviors. The middle platform illustrates the life of Buddha and the law of karma, and the topmost circular platforms signify enlightenment. So you probably noticed these carved illustrations, right? As I said before, it depicts the law of karma. Somewhere along, you will see, for example, an illustration when there's depicted 2 groups of people. One who talk bad about others, gossip, or say foul words, have big lips, ugly faces, and other negative traits. While the other group, that follows teachings of Buddhism, are all portrayed beautiful and sexy. So even here, illustrations are used to teach something, and you can draw the parallel idea with the puppet show in Jakarta, right? The golden tip that I want to give to you is when you book the tour, make sure it includes structure climbing. If you don't, your experience will end at the bottom of the temple and you won't be allowed to climb up like we did. Keep that in mind. So a car drive that felt like forever, which I think was about 2 hours. We are finally here in the grounds of the Parambanan temple, which is the second most popular one here. Let's try to regain some energy, follow the guide, and see some history. Parambanan Temple is a stunning Hindu temple complex and one of the most impressive ancient structures in Southeast Asia. Built in the 9th century around the same time as nearby Borobudur Temple, Parambanan stands as a testament to Hindu civilization that once flourished in the region. First off, Parambanan is the largest Hindu temple complex in Indonesia and one of the biggest in Southeast Asia. It's dedicated to Trimurti, the 3 main gods of Hinduism: Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. The temple complex originally had 240 temples, although many have crumbled over time. It was basically decimated by an earthquake, and still under Dutch colonial rule in the early 1900s, they started to rebuild it. They were not able to rebuild all 240 temples. In the time from the early 1900s to nowadays is all what was possible to do, even though it looks like they are willing to continue to rebuild. Exploring Parambanan is like stepping back in time. You can wander through the ruins, admire the detailed carvings depicting scenes from Hindu epics, and soak in the serene atmosphere. It's a place where history, culture, and spirituality blend seamlessly, offering a unique glimpse into Indonesia's rich past. Similar to carvings in Borobudur Temple, they tell stories and teachings alike to Buddhists. It was truly awesome to go in the temple of Shiva, which towers 47 meters high and is the tallest of them all. Even though it was dark inside, our guide had a flashlight to help uncovering the carvings on the walls with its brightness. Can you imagine these temples back in their heyday? All being lit up with torches, decorated with flowers and blooms, and filled with the smoke of incense. It must have been quite an experience, perhaps even more mind-blowing back then than visiting it today, hundreds of years later. And so, we went in all the temples, including the ones of Brahma and Vishnu, which had the same vibe coming out through their walls. Even though I'm looking back at this experience with a smile and positive feelings, I remember how hot it was there. Even in the temples, which I fantasized at the moment would be cool, but it wasn't. So big kudos to Islam implementing those opening/windows, or known as jali, in their temples, providing a nice cool breeze. Just as you already heard me dabbing over the microphone, which I hope is in good quality, we are done with the Parambanan temple, and right now we are back in Yogyakarta. We have 7 hours to kill till our train arrives, so we basically left our bagage back in the train station, and we're gonna head to Marlioboro street and see if there's anything we can do. We did miss out on some street food yesterday, but we also, before we came back, we went to this small restaurant where the driver took us before we came back. So I can't say that anybody's super hungry over here. By the things that I could find on Google, there is not too many breathtaking things to see here in Yogyakarta, and not that it's the only fact. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but we are also extremely tired. To be honest, being tired was not the only thing that was happening at the moment. There was also a huge case of diarrhea happening to me, because I think I have to blame the street food that I've been eating for the past 2 days. So there was not just possible to make a perfect ending for this video, and I did have to put a stop somewhere in these adventures. But these were only the first few days of almost a 1-month trip. So if you liked the video, then please do check out the next one. I think we're gonna have some fun over there.